So just to quickly leave off where we were introduced, looking forward to this chat with Manny. I sold my SaaS company recently and now interview SaaS founders. So looking forward to keeping the spotlight here on Manny. Manny, my least favorite moments over the past week was when my apartment building in Austin, Texas, I live at the Whitley, if anyone's from the States or Texas, sent me my renewal contract. And it was for 9 months, and they're going, here's the contract. And I'm going, I have to sign this because I need somewhere to keep all my stuff, full well knowing that over the next year I was going to be in Japan and Thailand and not there for about 4 or 5 months. You see a future where long-term leases may not be necessary. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So in your situation, right now you have a lease. You know, you live in Austin, and so for you, you're in a 1-year lease. And as you just mentioned, you're mobile, you're going to different parts of the world. From where I sit, and from the things that we do at Recharge, and from the findings that we have and our philosophy of the world, Nathan should be able to pay for his apartment by the day. You should be able to say, I am paying to live here for exactly 33 days, and if I want to, I will then move to Tokyo and live for another 105 days, and then move to New York and live for 336 days and 5 minutes if you want. Right now, in real estate, in purchasing it, when you look at the supplier and you look at the consumer, the supplier oftentimes control the way that it's purchased. So whether that is an office lease, or if you're going into a hotel, they'll say that check-in is at 3 o'clock, checkout is at 12. In real estate, they control the time mechanism of how it's purchased, and we believe that that control should be given to the consumer. And when you do that, you begin to see that the way that people move in cities is very different.
So let's talk kind of more about the economies of this space. First, guys, if you've ever stayed at an Airbnb, say yes.
There you go.
If you've ever jumped in an Uber, say yes. All right, so there's this very interesting concept happening of kind of atoms and physical objects combined with software to create new efficiencies. And you're certainly at the middle of that, right?
Absolutely. So to clarify and to kind of start right at the top, just as a headline of what we do. We sell luxury hotel rooms by the minute. You can walk into the Four Seasons and you can pay $1.66 a minute. You can walk into a W, you can walk into a Taj. You can walk into a 5-star luxury asset and you can stay for as long or as short as you want. Me, myself, my team, we did not come from hotels. We're not hoteliers. We did not come from real estate. We came from movement, from the shared economy. And before this, I was very blessed, had the opportunity where Lyft purchased my previous startup. So Lyft is a company in the US that competes very heavily with Uber. And while I was working on that shared economy project, I began to study traffic flows very intimately. And when you have people who work in a downtown area, whether that be in Munich or Berlin or London or Prague or New York or wherever you are, there are going to be people on the outskirts that are either taking maybe a subway or taking a Caltrain, or they're taking some sort of transportation into the city, and they will go back into the suburbs again. And when we began to look at all of these companies that begin moving people, whether you're moving from town to town or from coast to coast, there are all these companies that are so fixated on movement. Some of them, Uber, Tesla, driverless cars, all of these aspects, and all of these companies are really focused on how people are moving, and we call that the movement economy. But within that movement economy, there's a small section of companies that also impact the way that we move, but they're in real estate. And the first one, at least from my vantage point, that really began to impact the way that we move, but from a real estate angle, was Starbucks, the cafe. I'm in a city, I'm going from meeting to meeting, and now all of a sudden I have a junction spot, somewhere I can go, catch my breath, take a call, maybe check my emails before going on to my next stop. It was very similar to how we have a truck stop, maybe on the highway, but this was in city limits. And the founder of Starbucks, he talks about this thing called the third place, which is kind of this place in between home and work. But when you walk into a Starbucks, there's no privacy. You walk into a cafe, there's no privacy. I can't take a nap. I can't take a shower. I can't even really hear even myself talk because it's loud. And there are these new classifications of companies that are kind of narrowing in on that third place and saying, you know what, let's bring more to it. And this is a concept where you can walk in and out of real estate whenever you want. And it's something that we call fluid real estate. So companies in the fluid real estate space would be companies like WeWork, which is a corporate office company in the US, where you can use office space going in and out of it in different parts of the city whenever you'd like. There are other companies in this space called Breather, where you can purchase office space in 30-minute blocks. And then there's us, where you can walk into a hotel and you can literally decide exactly how long or short you would like to stay. And for what we've done and for the other companies that have kind of been involved here, it's beginning to change the way that people move in their city.
And so when we talk about the term kind of fluid real estate and the sharing economy in general, a lot of this change, consumers may want it, right? We see this with Uber and Lyft. Consumers may really want it, and it's certainly a better experience, but economic disruption has to happen at the same time. So I'd love to quickly focus on how the economics of your business works. I take a red eye to California from DC for a meeting at 1 p.m. downtown San Francisco. I land at 6 a.m.
Yep.
I want to take a quick 4-hour nap.
Yep.
I'm going to use Recharge to get in there and book the Hilton or someone in San Fran for 4 hours.
Yep.
What do I pay you for that?
Well, in San Francisco, it's not cheap. It's $40 an hour, and so which is 66 cents a minute. So if you come in and
you said 40 an hour?
It's 40 an hour, but you pay by the minute.
Be a damn good nap, right?
It's a good nap for sure. But yeah, no. If you come into the city, let's say you get off of Red Eye, you land in New York. We're live in New York. You get off of JFK, can't check in till 3. If you want to go in, you maybe get off of JFK. You take a taxi into the city, Uber into the city, whatever it may be. If you recharge, let's say from 9 to 11, you get yourself ready, you shave, you put on your makeup. You go to your next meeting, you'll pay about $80.
So let's keep breaking this down because I want to understand how you make money and why this is efficient for the hotel in terms of monetizing inventory that was previously unmonetized. So for a hotel,
I can't give you every secret, Nathan.
Huh?
I can't give you every secret.
All right, well, we'll see. They'll beat you up on Twitter if you don't give me the answers, right?
Okay,
Just kidding.
fair enough.
Talk to us about the Hilton. The Hilton I pay for 2 hours. Let's actually push the economics. I only stay there for an hour. Actually, let's push it more. I stay for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Quick hair or whatever, right? They still have to go in there and clean before and after. What does it cost them to clean? How do you make sure these economics work at scale for these guys?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question.
Why are you smiling? This is an important question, right?
Which I'm happy to answer. Yeah, so first of all, when it comes to turning the rooms, our hotel partners treat all of the rooms in the exact same way they would for a 24-hour stay. That's important to recognize. And I also want to draw to the fact that the way that the room is being used is very different. So right now, hotels get paid primarily with one method, with travelers. I came from San Francisco. People came from Prague. People came from London. People came from all over the world. And what are we doing? We're here in a hotel. The hotels here are making money from travelers. You brought your suitcase. Some of you may have brought your families, whatever the case may be. When you're using it as a local, people who use Recharge are not bringing their suitcases. They're literally coming in because they had a meeting, they had a conference call with somebody on the East Coast, and they don't want to use a Starbucks, right? And so when you're coming in, you're not bringing your suitcase, you're not bringing your family, you're not bringing your dogs. It's the turn to the room, it's much lighter. It's not costing the hotel as much.
What's it cost them?
It's under half the time to clean and under half the time to turn on average.
I understand. What I'm trying to do is break your model because on purpose, because ultimately a change like this to be ushered in economically, there has to be something changing on balance sheets and P&Ls to usher in that change. At some amount of time, what if this wouldn't happen, but let's say I only booked it for 2 minutes, right? That ultimately would trigger a change to the hotel that they don't know if I slept in the bed, they don't know if I jumped in the shower, they have to clean everything, they have to pay the cleaner $20, but they only made $2 from Recharge. How's that work? How do you manage the economics?
Absolutely. So first of all, our average stay is over 2 hours. So, and in some markets, we do have minimums. So for some hotels, you'll go in and the minimum may be 30 minutes or the minimum may be, an hour. We allow the hotel to manage their cost to make sure that every time someone comes in, it's always over the cost of cleaning. So there are some markets and some hotels where there's a minimum. But outside of that, one thing to note is that there's also efficiencies on both sides, right? So if let's say it's a 100-room hotel, right? Let's say that we'll call it the DLD hotel. There's 100 rooms in the hotel. 100% occupied, right? There are going to be 20 people who leave very early in the morning to fly back from wherever they came from. And there will be 20 people who leave really late at night going back home to wherever they came from. And when the room attendants come into the hotel and they start turning the rooms, as those rooms are getting vacant clean, the question that folks are asking themselves is, if I'm 100% occupied, but my room is sitting empty, 40 of my rooms are sitting empty for 12 hours, I could be 100% occupied, but really 40% vacant. So I think the question is not so much what's the cost to turn it, but what's the cost to be vacant? What's the cost to build these real estate's expensive. Our hotels, some of them, their values, $250 million, $300 million, $400 million. One of our hotels in San Francisco, it just sold for over $500 million. These are really expensive structures. And so I think the question that owners and managers have been asking themselves is, what's the cost to us to not be monetizing these rooms during the day?
And argue the other side of this debate. You're obviously on one side, but why would the hotel never want to sign up for something like this?
If they don't want to make money, and if they don't want to...
No, but seriously, otherwise everyone would sign up. What challenges are you hitting when you're trying to sign up hotels? Real reasons where they can't adopt it right now.
Well, what I can say is that right now in the industry, the way that their systems work, it's not exactly designed to process bookings by the minute.
Yep.
Right? They're not designed. The industry was designed to service people overnight. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're putting kind of a firestorm in the industry a bit. We're pushing people to focus on vacancy instead of occupancy. And I would expect over time that more and more operating systems would be designed to take customers during the day.
Does your solution, is there a software component that helps them manage minute-by-minute bookings?
Absolutely.
So is there a SaaS product on the back end you're selling into hotels?
We're not selling, we're giving it to them.
Okay, for free.
Correct. We make money together, so there's no reason to do that right now.
So, and then give us some more history, now that folks get a sense of the space and this concept of fluid real estate. When was the company launched?
We launched 1 year ago, so January 2016.
So he sells to Lyft. By the way, did you see, I use Uber in my initial question. He goes, so I just sold to Lyft. He's going, you should have used the Uber example. So yes or no, who's jumped in a Lyft before?
It's okay.
There we go. Look, see, there's love. There's
okay.
Lyft love. That's good.
Okay.
So a year old, you raised some capital. How do you expand into additional, where are you currently? And then how do you drive an expansion plan into new cities?
Absolutely. So we're in San Francisco and New York. And we have people all around the country that are asking for the product, right? So right now we are opening up inventory and we will expand to DC, we'll expand to LA, Chicago, and eventually we will come to Europe.
Very good. When you initially, I'm watching all these guys and gals in the back. When you originally said you can book hotel rooms by the minute, their faces made very naughty faces.
Oh, yeah?
You have an interesting marketing challenge in that this is the app that comes right after Tinder.
Sure.
Right? How do you get around that?
Absolutely. If you think about Snapchat, when Snapchat first came out, everyone said, oh, this must only be used for sex pics. And now CNN is on Snapchat, right? And so there's a greater story here. And the story is really about freedom. It's the freedom that as a consumer, I should be able to pay for exactly what I need. It's not about, oh, I'm going to go off here and do something crazy. It's that I'm a family. I may be nursing. I may need to change. Honestly, our most surprising use case to date, it was a shock to me. We have hundreds of nursing mothers that use our product. We have people who use our product getting off of flights. We work with airlines. It's not about the risky rock and roll party things that most people would kind of assume with this. It's about the fact that for all of us, one of our biggest expenses, if not the number one expense, is your house. Whether it is an expense where you're renting or it's your mortgage. And in your house, what you're afforded is total privacy. You're afforded wellness. I can jump on the bed, I can do a high five, I can cry, I can call my family, I can do whatever I want to do. If I had a bad review at work, I can review it, call a mentor, whatever I want. I can do that in my house. But when I'm downtown, I can't buy that peace of mind. I can't buy that privacy unless I want to pay for a 24-hour hotel. And that is now over.
Yep. Very good. So I want to leave a little bit of time for questions. If you do have questions, kind of let those get in your head right now. And do we have a formal process? Oh, great, there's questions. Should we go straight to questions? There's always, they're more, make him feel a little uncomfortable, right? That's what a good question is, okay? Where do you want to start? Over here somewhere? Go ahead, and we've got a microphone here. Raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We'll get the mic to you.
Thank you so much.
Am I rated by the hotel? I mean, do they...
They will.
Okay.
Yes, they will. So the hotel will rate you, and you will rate the hotel. There is a double rating system similar to...
The statement was that's new, because in a normal case, currently when you stay at a hotel,
I
you don't do
can do whatever I want in a hotel room, and then no one's going to rate me.
Yeah, if you walk into the Ritz or the Four Seasons that we're working with, if you walk into the hotel and they rate you poorly, sorry, that you're out.
Great. I think we had another question in this. Oh, yep, great.
Why do you go to 5-star hotels? If all I want to do is take a shower after an overnight flight, make it cheaper for me.
We will. We will. It's a great question. So why start with aspirational inventory? Why Four Seasons? Why Taj? Well, you know, bottom line is there's a huge opportunity here. And when we looked at it and the way that we would roll out, there's this concept where people think of that classic by-the-hour motel that's kind of off in the other part of town. And for us, we absolutely will provide recharge at all levels of service. There's no question. And we would encourage people to imply this model in other supply sources, whether it be apartments or whatever. But for us, and what we were trying to achieve with our earliest customers, 4 and 5 star was the place to start. And we will, at scale, absolutely have an opportunity for you to use other sources of inventory that are a little bit cheaper.
While the microphone is going to the last question, which I think we've got back here, I'm going to fire one at you real quick. So
sure.
It's been a year. How many stays have you processed? Individual folks that have booked at least one time.
So we've had thousands and thousands and thousands of stays. I'll save some of those numbers.
More or less than 10,000.
Thousands and thousands.
Do we want to answer yes or no?
Thousands and thousands. But here's what I can say. What I'm happy to report is that 85% of our customers are repeat. Right. So it's a really sticky product in the fact that people literally have gone to a position where this is now replacing their Starbucks habit.
So thousands and thousands of stays, the average, they're repeat customers.
Thousands of customers.
If you look at your total customer base right now, how many different stays have they averaged over the course of whenever they've been using you?
I don't know, Kato. What is it? To be honest with you, I don't have that memorized.
Not sure.
But,
great.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up with the last question. I think somewhere in the center aisle.
I have the mic. So just
raise your hand.
One use case.
Please.
Let's assume you arrive at the hotel at 8 p.m. and your room rental starts at 3 p.m.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the last part?
Let's assume the use case, you arrive at the hotel at 8 p.m. and your room rental, let's say, starts at 3 p.m. The 5 hours, is there a commercial model that actually you, as a person who basically owns the room for those 5 hours, gets basically a discount because he's able to re-rent this room for these 5 hours?
Not yet, but I love that.
You're not going to ask for royalties?
Well, I mean, his question is really just about, if you look at, again, and the next time you go into a hotel, I encourage you to ask the front desk about this. His question really drives down to vacancy. Mm-hmm. I mean, all of us have hotel rooms that we're not in. We're not in our hotels right now. And if there was a way, and we're working on this too, where my stuff could move as I'm moving, the hotel in a 24-hour block is an anchor. And as I move from place to place, I can't just repurchase home as I need it. I have to always go back to the home base of the hotel. And when you have it set up like that, there's massive inefficiency. Because when you come to a city, when on business, you need the hotel, but you didn't come there to spend all day in the hotel. You might be there 5, 6, 7, 8 hours at the max. And so if we're all paying for 24 hours, but staying for 8 hours, what are the possibilities?
That's right. Well, guys, DLD has a way of really playing kingmaker in many, many spaces. This might be a new one. Manny founded Recharge over a year ago, has processed thousands and thousands of stays, really ushering a new economy of fluid real estate. Please help me in thanking him.
Thank you.
Good stuff.